Now at 4, a winter weather alert. Might not look like it right now, but that lake effect snow machine is getting ready to fire up. The heaviest snow expected to start falling later tonight.
Power of 5 Chief Meteorologist Mark Johnson is breaking down the timing hour by hour. Mark?
Where we have upgrades to our watches, lake effect snow advisories, Lake, Geauga, and Trumbull counties, Lake Ashtabula and Trumbull counties tonight through 10 p.m. on Friday, and a lake snow warning for a little more snow right here in Geauga County through 10 p.m. on Friday. The snow has not yet begun. We've got a little trough right here. It's going to swing through in the next couple of hours, and it will shift those winds around. So once that trough gets by, look at the lake effect snow already coming off of Lake Michigan, and that's going to be our lot here through the evening hours. So let me show you the future cast. Notice that by 7 p.m., we're beginning to see some snow with that trough coming in. Anyone could see a quick ½ an inch to an inch of snow overnight tonight. But our main band of snow will set up through Geauga County, southern Lake County, central and southern Ashtabula County, and that's where we'll likely see moderate to heavy snowfall with snowfall rates above 1 inch per hour at times through the overnight tonight. We'll go 4 to 8 inches where squalls persist here. Elsewhere, again, a trace to maybe as much as an inch overnight tonight. It's going to be cold and snowy. Get used to it, folks.
A hot Christmas gift could get you in trouble with the law. Police departments across Greater Cleveland are getting complaints about drones. Rocky River has had so many reports, they're now issuing a warning, and that warning may surprise you. A very popular gift this year. It seems like you could buy one just about anywhere.
Walmart, Target, even Walgreens.
But drone expert and attorney Matthew Mishak told me no matter where you bought it, there's a to-do list attached to that drone that must be checked.
Everything that flies up in our national airspace is regulated by the FAA.
Before it leaves the ground.
If it weighs over ½ a pound and you're 13 years or older, you need to register the drone. If you're under 13 years of age, your parents need to register it.
That's right, ½ a pound or more, you have to register the drone, camera or not. Registration costs about $5 online. And drone operators, young and old, that don't follow the rules could be in trouble with the FAA or local police. The fines are no joke.
If you don't register it, the FAA can levy fines up to $27,500 for civil penalties. There are laws in Ohio that prevent reckless operation of an aircraft, and you can face 6 months in jail and up to a $500 fine for doing that.
In suburban communities like Rocky River, police are dealing with dozens of complaints, all since the holidays, about drones flying where they shouldn't be or getting lost and crashing down. They're putting an additional warning out to residents today, since the entire city is within 5 miles of Cleveland Hopkins Airport.
If you're in 5 miles of an airport, you need to provide the airport with notification of your operations.
So if you're flying a drone in Rocky River, you're supposed to call Cleveland Hopkins and let them know?
Absolutely.
The airport actually has a specific phone number available for you to call in. If you're interested in that or more info from the FAA, I put that on our News 5 app. Thieves are getting more and more creative with their attempted smash and grabs. This time, they used a U-Haul to smash through the concrete wall of a Cleveland convenience store. You can see a lot of damage left behind, but police tell us nothing was stolen from the store.
Just into the now, Cleveland, the woman hit by an RTA bus earlier this month in downtown Cleveland has died as a result of the injuries suffered. 69-year-old Joan Kutig was crossing the street during a busy morning commute in Public Square when that bus made a left turn and struck her down. The RTA driver remains suspended without pay pending the results of the investigation at Cleveland police. As tragic as the terror attack on a Christmas market in Berlin was, investigators now say the automatic braking system on the truck that was used may have actually saved lives. A black box style system records the truck's movements, speed, other things. The braking technology reportedly deployed and applied the brakes after sensing impact, forcing the truck to stop sooner than it might have otherwise. The European Union started requiring that technology on larger trucks as of 2012.
We have new information about a Cuyahoga County Sheriff's deputy who was charged with drunk driving again night. Kristen, what may be even more disturbing is that deputy's primary job responsibility is to drive.
Yeah, Tiara, for the last 6 years, he's been transporting prisoners, despite 3 drunk driving convictions. And according to a spokeswoman for the Sheriff's Department, that deputy in that position violated no policies.
Sorry, we got an accident on Gessner Road. Someone is stone drunk. Somebody pulled out a driveway, hit another car. There's about 25 neighbors out here.
A Christmas Eve crash here in North Olmsted led to what you see here. A Cuyahoga County Sheriff's deputy failing a sobriety test. That deputy is this man, David Miller. Miller's state driving record is right here, and it indicates he got his first OVI conviction in 1988, but never got his license suspended. His second one came in 1994. His license suspended for 2 weeks, only because he refused a breathalyzer test. His third conviction happened in 2007. His license taken away for just 6 months. 3 years later, the Sheriff's Department moved Miller from a desk job to transporting prisoners. A spokeswoman for the department tells me at the time he applied for the job, his entire background was taken into account, yet he still got it. They say that's because all that's required for a transport job is a valid driver's license. They have no policy otherwise on an employee with misdemeanor OVI convictions. Miller is on unpaid administrative leave from the Sheriff's Department while they say they're conducting an internal investigation. He pled not guilty to his latest charges this week. Rob?
Kristen, thank you. The Pike County Sheriff says solving the murders of the Roden family is his top priority. Sheriff Charles Reeder speaking about the case as he was sworn in for a new 4-year term. He believes the killer or killers live in Pike County. 8 members of the Roden family found shot to death in their homes back in April. No arrests have been made.
A ceasefire to end the 5-year-old civil war in Syria is about this close. It's supposed to take effect within the hour. Today, Russian President Vladimir Putin said the deal was worked out between the Syrian government and opposition rebels. And he says both sides have agreed to begin peace talks. An estimated 400,000 people have died in the war.
Here's some news for Browns fans. Robert Griffin III has just been cleared to play in Sunday's game. The quarterback was injured last week in the 4th quarter of the Browns' win over San Diego. He was sacked 7 times, suffered a concussion. Browns coach Hugh Jackson says if Griffin is ready to go, he will start Sunday in Pittsburgh. Rookie Cody Kessler finished that game in his spot last time.
From band camp to training camp, one Ohio State University band member could be on the football team next year after nailing a 55-yard field goal. The band had just finished practice when the trumpet player, Austin Breezy's friends, bet him to kick a field goal. Now, he's never kicked before, but he nailed it from the 55-yard line. After posting the incredible kick on social media, Austin earned himself a tryout for the team. And Ohio's newest residents are ready for the big game against Clemson. How cute are they? The Wexner Medical Center in Columbus is giving every baby born from now until Saturday a Beat Clemson blanket.
Breaking right now, President Obama retaliating against Russia for trying to interfere in our presidential election. We're now learning who will be affected by that fallout. Plus,
these are the cyber attacks going on right now all across the world. I'm Kumasi Aaron. Why one expert says Russia isn't our country's only concern.
You're watching the Now Cleveland. We're back in 3 minutes.
Right now, President Obama taking action against Russia for hacking into our election process. He just issued this executive order, giving additional authority to respond to cyber activity. That includes sanctioning 9 entities and individuals, including 2 Russian intelligence services and 3 companies that provided support to them. The State Department is shutting down 2 Russian compounds in Maryland and New York. And 35 Russian diplomats at the embassy in Washington, D.C. have now been given 72 hours to leave the United States with their families. The FBI and Homeland Security Department are also releasing declassified technical information on Russian civilian and military intelligence cyber activity. The President said there's going to be additional action beyond this as well. He'll provide a full report to Congress in the next few days about Russia's efforts to interfere in the election.
Now, Russia isn't the only country taking part in cyber attacks. The Now's Kamasi Aaron looks at the impact this digital warfare is having right now and why it may only get worse.
Check this out. This shows all the cyber attacks going on across the world at this very moment. And the expert we spoke with says this is just the tip of the iceberg. From concerns of a hacked election to hacked email accounts, cyber attacks are front and center. And it's not just between the U.S. and Russia. This map shows the attacks going on across the world at any given time.
We can look to, Israel attacking Iran. We can look to China reaching out and, to all sorts of different places, and so these sorts of things are going on.
Steve Beatty is a cybersecurity expert. He says the attacks come in all forms and are only expected to increase. Russia, for instance, used a cell phone app to get strategic military information from Ukrainian soldiers. He says U.S. intellectual property is always a target, and if infiltrated, can pose a serious safety threat.
All of a sudden they have, if you will, the source code for our weapon systems. They have the ability then to analyze the software that's running on our high-tech weapons, and there are certain kinds of planes even that cannot fly other than being computerized.
Beatty says cyber espionage will not only be used by countries to attack another country's borders and democratic process, but also their economy.
So if someone was able to take out stock exchanges and these sorts of things for a substantial amount of time, that's going to have a very direct influence on a lot of people, indeed the entire country.
People in some countries have seen the results of cyber attacks directly, with massive power outages. While the U.S. hasn't, Beatty says it's always a possibility.
But I do believe this is going to expand into more and more people's lives.
For the Now, I'm Kamasi Aaron.
Beatty believes as the United States weaponry gets more and more high-tech, cyber espionage is going to continue to become a bigger and bigger problem.
Okay, we continue to track this developing story for you here on The Now. Today, investigators say the black boxes show there was no explosion on board a Russian airplane before it crashed into the Black Sea on Christmas Day. All 92 people on board died. That plane went down just about a minute after takeoff. Initial findings from the flight recorder show no obvious equipment failure. Also right now, investigators are trying to figure out why a National Guard helicopter crashed into Galveston Bay, killing both soldiers on board. The Apache helicopter was on a routine training flight when it went down yesterday afternoon. While most of the chopper is in the water, crews also found a rotor nearby on the ground. Soldiers were with the Texas Army National Guard. The Guard says all of its pilots are highly trained and highly qualified veterans who've flown this type of helicopter for years.
We've been telling you about the problems with Takata airbags for years now. But today we're learning the company is close to settling with the U.S. Department of Justice to end its criminal investigation. According to Reuters, that could include Takata pleading guilty to criminal misconduct and paying upwards of $1 billion in penalties. The airbag inflators can explode with so much force, sending shrapnel at the driver. And so far, the problem has been linked to 11 deaths here in the United States and the recall of 42 million vehicles. That's the largest in U.S. history.
An Arizona man is claiming police brutality against the Mesa Police Department after he says he was attacked. Let's take a look at police body cam footage of the incident. The man's attorney says the police report doesn't match what we see here in the video. The man says he was riding his bike on a sidewalk, didn't realize an officer was shouting at him. Moments later, he was shoved and fell to the ground.
Kind of went on minding my own business, and then next thing I know, I have just a bunch of cops jumping on me.
To come at him and push him down like that on the ground and then continue in that manner is excessive.
The man spent a night in the hospital. He had cuts, he had bruises. Meanwhile, the Mesa Police Department says it does not comment on pending cases, but police do say this guy had drugs in his system when he was arrested.
The brother of child beauty queen JonBenét Ramsey is suing CBS for $750 million. 29-year-old Burke Ramsey claims the network's program, The Case of JonBenét Ramsey, falsely accused him of murdering his younger sister. Ramsey's lawyer says law enforcement has repeatedly cleared him as a suspect. JonBenét was 6 years old when her body was found inside her Colorado home in 1996.
Right now, there's pushback against one of the two new national monuments President Obama just created. He's designated more than 1 million acres in Utah as the Bears Ears National Monument and 300,000 acres in Nevada as the Gold Butte National Monument. Supporters say it helps ensure the president's legacy of protecting the environment, and Native Americans in the area say it preserves the ancestral and spiritual ties they have there. But critics say this is an abuse of power. Utah Senator Mike Lee is one of the people vowing to fight the monument designation and get rid of the Antiquities Act, which allows the president to take action.
Whether you're a liberal or a conservative, you ought to be worried when one person can exercise that much power in a way that will affect that many people's lives on the ground.
The Utah Attorney General is now planning to sue as well. Critics say the monument designation hurts families trying to make a living off the land and limits new energy development.
Donald Trump has decided to write his inaugural address himself. CNN's presidential historian just met with the president-elect and says Trump is intent on drafting the entire speech, but he'll have input from his team. President-elect Trump is expected to talk about education, infrastructure, border security, the military, the economy, and the outsourcing of jobs. He also says he'll keep the speech short so people don't have to stand in the cold too long during the inauguration. That's on January 20th.
Dramatic images here of a dog being pulled from the icy waters of Lake Michigan. A good Samaritan called for help after spotting this dog struggling to climb out of the water. 3 firefighters linked together across the ice just to pull the dog to shore.
When you have that opportunity, when you've done something that's paid off, and hopefully locating and reuniting the family, it's a very good feeling.
I'm going to try to go. At the time, the dog was not wearing a collar or a microchip. So staff at a nearby animal shelter say the dog's owner has not been found yet. Okay, let's talk here at home now. We're getting ready for our own bout with Mother Nature outside. Mark Johnson's tracking everything for us right now, so we stroll across the studio.
Take your time. Take your time. You got a little while before the snow arrives.
Before the snow comes?
Yeah, we got a little while. I'm thinking between 8 and 10 p.m. is when we'll start to ramp things up, and especially east, you will see enough to shovel. All right?
Wow.
Not you.
What time can I expect?
8 to 10 p.m. it starts.
Get your shovel
Follow
ready.
me back here. Get your shovel. Take a look at our current temps. 40 degrees in Cleveland now, so we've warmed it up. Akron 39, Ashtabula cloudy 36. We've got 30s to near 40 all the way down from Ravenna to Dover, New Philly. Wind chills are in the 20s. Where'd my clicker go? Here it is. We got it. Let me show you. Currently 39 downtown. It's 38 Bedford to Chagrin Falls, Orange at 36, 39 in Westlake, North Royalton at 41, Barberton, Massillon 38. We've got a 39 for Orville to Canton to Jackson, and 37 currently in Alliance. 30s to near 40, so it's not terrible. No real Arctic air is here yet. We'll get a little bit tonight and tomorrow, and then it kind of retreats for the weekend. Notice the winds, though, out of the west. 14, 18 miles per hour, 15 miles per hour in Canton. So again, we do have those wind chills, 20s, lower 30s. So we're a little bit cooler than the actual air temp. Now here is 6 p.m. You notice we start to get a few flurries coming in off the lake. By 8:45, notice there we have our little trough swinging by. So we'll see some scattered snow area wide, anywhere from a ½ an inch to an inch of snow. But here in the snow belt, it hangs on. Look at that. There you have it. Lake Geauga, Ashtabula, Trumbull County, and we could easily see anywhere from 4 to 8 inches of snow in those counties where squalls persist. The rest of us, it's a trace to 3 overnight tonight with lows in the upper 20s. Tara?
Mark, do you want to lose weight, stop smoking, or save more money in 2017? Why your age could be key to your success.
Mark, we're done for. That's true. Let's take a live look at traffic. You are watching the Now Cleveland, and the roads they seem just fine. We're back in a bit.
Preparations are well underway in Times Square for the big New Year's Eve celebration. And earlier today, the confetti test passed with flying colors. 3,000 pounds of confetti will rain down on revelers at the stroke of midnight. This year's wishes for 2017 have been written on that confetti, and most of the messages hope for peace in the world. It's that time again. Have you made your New Year's resolutions?
Not at all. For some percent of us are successful at actually achieving those resolutions. This according to the research group statisticbrain.com. But it also found people who make resolutions are 10 times more likely to achieve their goals than those who don't. Nearly half of us usually make New Year's resolutions. 3/4 of us keep them through the first week of the new year. 6 months into the year, that's down to just under half.
Oh dear. Well, the company Statistic Brain found the #1 resolution made last year was to lose weight, followed by getting organized, spending less and saving more, enjoying life to the fullest, and staying fit and healthy. An interesting side note, Statistic Brain also says the younger you are, the more likely you are to succeed. 39% of people in their 20s achieve their resolution goals, compared to just 14% of people over 50.
So again, Mark, we're done for.
My resolution, more Twinkies and ho-hos and Hostess snacks.
Look at Times Square right now. It's beautiful this time of year. Not on New Year's Eve, but this time of year. New York City getting ready to host the biggest New Year's Eve celebration in the country.
More than 1 million people will be in Times Square to see that ball drop. A closer look at what police are doing to keep everyone safe.
All right, weather-wise, the chilly's on, but how long will it hang around? Do we have a little warm-up coming your way? Find out for your weekend next.
Welcome back to the Now. Cleveland, we are talking weather now. We saw sun as we started the program at 4 o'clock, but now clouds are starting to roll in here.
Right on, and I'm just adjusting our little map here to throw on some of our watches and warnings here. Hold on. There we have it. We've got warnings for snow for Geauga County, advisories for Lake, Ashtabula, and Trumbull County. I think everybody gets a little snow, though. Okay. Come on over here. We'll show you live. Look at the clouds moving, those low clouds moving over downtown, our terminal tower. Great shot there. No snow yet. Oh, look. Peak of sun. There's the peak of sun. We should just stay on that. Peak of sun. Yes, indeed. It's going to be cloudy through the evening hours. Sorry, Todd. There's a step. Here we go. There's your advisories. Lake, Ashtabula, Trumbull. Then Geauga gets a heavier warning here for heavier snows here. 4 to 8 inches. I'm thinking 3 to 5 where squalls persist in the advisory area. And then a trace to 1. Maybe a couple of suburbs of Greater Cleveland getting 2 or 3 inches overnight tonight. Now, where's the snow? Notice we've got some clearing here. But now here comes that snow. A little trough is going to swing by. A little mid-level rotation is going to slide on in, and that is going to stir up our lake snows. Probably between 8 and 10 p.m. you'll begin to see the snow increasing. Here we go. Dry. Oh, Canton gets a flurry at 6 p.m. You're in the middle and upper 30s, lower and middle 30s at 8, and we have some scattered snow around, and through 10 p.m. scattered snow. So roads are going to become slippery, and it's going to be breezy as well, so wind chills will be in the teens and 20s. Bundle up, Rob.
Thanks for keeping us up to date. More weather in just a bit. For now, though, a live look right now at New York City. Millions of people planning to pack Times Square. They should brace themselves for heightened security measures this New Year's Eve. There's no specific threat here. Police say they won't be taking any chances, though. ABC's Marcy Gonzalez has details.
The crossroads of the world, soon to be the center of intense security when more than 1 million people pack into New York's Times Square for the annual New Year's Eve celebration. With the confetti tested and the ball perched in place, the NYPD is also ready to ring in 2017, with extra precautions being taken for this year's festivities.
A lot you will see, and as per usual, a lot you will not see. And that's that combination that keeps us safe.
7,000 officers, including 550 sworn in just this week, will be on patrol, some blending in with the crowd looking for anything suspicious, some monitoring closed-circuit feeds from hundreds of cameras, while others watch from rooftops and helicopters. While there is no credible threat to the most iconic New Year's Eve celebration in the world, a law enforcement bulletin went out last week citing concerns about lone wolves and violent extremists targeting the event. And the NYPD says officials were mindful of the terror attacks in Nice and Berlin when they developed this year's security plan, which includes barriers made up of 65 dump trucks and 100 other large vehicles parked in and around Times Square, more than ever before.
This will be a very well protected event, probably our most protected event with multiple layers of security.
And among those layers of security, when people start gathering here in Times Square as early as 8 o'clock Saturday morning, they won't be allowed to bring any large bags, and we're told every person will be searched multiple times. Marcy Gonzalez, ABC News, New York.
And if you plan on using Uber or Lyft for a ride on New Year's Eve, pay very close attention to your bill. Riders across the country are posting on social media they were charged for damage during Uber or Lyft rides, but they didn't do it. Just this month, Justin Moy in Tucson says he and a friend got a Lyft home. He had no liquids in the car, but wound up with a $65 cleaning fee for a spilled drink.
I'm not trying to get anything for free. I don't want any credits. I don't want any, I don't even want the ride for free. It was only $5. I use the service. I'm okay paying with it, but I'm not going to pay for something I didn't do.
An Uber spokesperson says a driver must submit photos and details of the incident within 48 hours, and the passengers have to contact the company to dispute the charge.
A McDonald's customer got more than a side of fries with her order. Surveillance video shows a silver car following another car into the restaurant's drive-through lane. Woman in the silver car gets out, opens the door of the other vehicle, and watch, slaps the driver. And she goes right back into her car and speeds away. Police are trying to track her down right now. The other driver not seriously hurt.
Now to some chaos erupting mid-air, forcing an emergency landing. It happened on a Delta flight from Minneapolis to Los Angeles. All the ruckus began when a woman in coach tried to use the restroom shortly after the flight took off. When she was asked to sit down, she and her partner reportedly began shouting, and that's when the pilot turned that plane around.
2565, we do have the authorities called. They should be at the gate when you get there.
All right, on way to Golf 12, thank you.
When they touched down, police stormed the plane, and the couple didn't go quietly. One of them punched a passenger. The FBI is now investigating that incident.
Wow. Christmas present arriving a few days late was all the more special for a Florida mother because she never saw it coming. Megan McRoberts was there for the big surprise.
I'm so looking forward to this. I've been looking forward to this since I booked the flight here.
Hi, buddy. Anxious but excited, private first class, Justin Yen waits for his mom to show up for dinner.
She's my best friend. She's my best friend. She's amazing. She's been there for me through thick and thin.
She thinks she's coming to celebrate her stepdaughter getting a new job, not knowing she'll be celebrating much more.
It's great just to be in the military, but being away from home kind of sucks, but you push through it.
The Army engineer hasn't been home from Hawaii in a year and a half.
Yesterday I told my mom that I was going to be in the field because I do not want to ruin the surprise.
My heart is racing right now. Yen and other family hide in the hallway. I feel like I'm about to propose or something. His mom orders a glass of wine. And Yen hand delivers it.
You're not in the field. Oh.
She wasn't expecting to see him for nearly 5 more months.
It's like, he's really here. I could not believe it. They really did well hiding this from me because I usually know everything that goes on in the family.
Surprise?
Yen's homecoming making this holiday family gathering complete.
This is the best surprise ever.
Never, ever get tired of that, huh?
No, you gotta love stories like that.
Yen returns to Hawaii January 2nd. He also wants to pay a visit to veterans at the nursing home where his mother works. Paying it back. Fans shocked by the passing of actress Debbie Reynolds one day after her daughter Carrie Fisher passed away.
Now some are wondering, did Debbie die of a broken heart? It's not uncommon, and medical research actually backs it up.
All right, big holiday weekend coming up, 2016, 2017. Well, Saturday is going to be a rain-snow mix, but mild 42. And then Sunday, the first day of 2017, rather quiet, 44 degrees. More than now, right after this.
New Year's Eve now just 2 days away. Other than the Buckeyes game, how are you ringing in the 2017 New Year this weekend?
Oh boy, that was a mouthful. Well, hopefully you're planning on having some fun this holiday, whatever your version of fun may be. Nearly half of us will celebrate New Year's Eve at home this year, and 20% of us will go to a friend's house. That's according to stats collected by Wallet Hub. But no need to stay up late. 48% of parents plan to count down the new year with their kids by 9 p.m. 30% plan to be asleep before midnight.
Making a third appearance in the program today, if you're going to Times Square in New York City, bring some cash. It's the most expensive place in the U.S. to celebrate. About $1,200 for dinner and a show. $229 for a party pass to the annual ball drop. They're going to drop a ton of confetti then in Times Square, too.
As for the classic champagne toast, we'll go through 360 million glasses of sparkling wine on New Year's Eve. And for good luck in 2017, on New Year's Day, you're supposed to eat 365 black-eyed peas, one for each day of the new year.
Wow. If you are not staying up late to count down until midnight, you can ring in the new year early with Netflix. 48% of parents say they are going to celebrate before 9 o'clock with their kids. So Netflix is making it easy for you to still take part in the tradition. They've got 10 short clips available for you to use to count down whenever you want to. There's a catch here, though. You have to be a Netflix member to use it. Great idea.
Yeah, pretty solid idea. Gym memberships, weight loss programs, those resolutions to shed a few pounds can quickly add up. But what if we told you you could do it for under 50 bucks?
I'd say that's a pretty good deal. Let's take a live look right now at the Shoreway. Things looking okay right now, traffic-wise, and looking even better here on the Now. We're back in a bit.
Yeah, commonly referred to as broken heart syndrome. Doctors say that the death of a loved one.
Right now, the world is remembering another celebrity who's passed, the legendary Debbie Reynolds. And we still can't get over the timing of her death, just a day after her daughter, Carrie Fisher, also passed away.
Good morning, good morning. It's great to stay up late.
One of Reynolds' most memorable roles was in the classic Singin' in the Rain, and she was nominated for an Oscar for the unsinkable Molly Brown. Reynolds was considered Hollywood royalty. Her off-screen life and marriages gained just as many headlines as her on-screen career. She died yesterday from an apparent stroke. Debbie was taken to the hospital after complaining of breathing problems at her son's home, where they were making funeral arrangements for Carrie Fisher. Debbie Reynolds was 84 years old.
Debbie Reynolds said she missed her daughter, and her son told the Associated Press the stress was just too much for her. So, is it possible to die from a broken heart? The Now's Derek Waller spoke with a cardiologist today, and Derek, she says, yeah, this is a real thing.
Yeah, she says it's commonly known as broken heart syndrome. She says that the death of a loved one can actually cause the heart to become physically weaker. A University Hospital's cardiologist tells me the condition is not all that common, but when it does happen, women over the age of 50 are most at risk. Symptoms are similar to that of a heart attack, like chest pain and shortness of breath. The most obvious example, older couples who've been together for decades, like Kristen Swingle's grandparents, who she says passed within a year of each other.
Not really able to go on with somebody you've spent your whole life with, and half of your life is gone.
This sudden surge of stress hormone or catecholamines that then surges throughout the body can be toxic, directly toxic to the heart muscle, and sort of overload the heart and render it usually temporarily, but extremely weak.
And Dr. Dina Sperano there tells me that most patients, though, actually go on to a full recovery. Live in Cleveland, Derek Waller, News 5.
Derek, thank you. Now, cheers to this man. This is Robert Leo Hulsman. Probably don't know the name, but chances are you've enjoyed his creation, especially if you've, well, been to a college party, maybe a backyard barbecue. Mr. Hulsman is the man who invented the red Solo cup. Died last week at the age of 84. His dad started the business back in 1936. Halsman worked his way up to CEO. He succeeded his dad in 1980. It was sometime in the 70s, Mr. Halsman came up with the Red Solo Cup.
Now, we told you earlier that losing weight is the #1 New Year's resolution every year. But if finding success is frustrating, maybe we've been going about it all wrong. The Now's Laura Harris talked to a trainer about why working out isn't the most important thing you need to do, and how spending less than $40 can help you move the scale.
To gym or not to gym? That is the question. Most people are flocking to the gym come January 1st. You know, that whole new year, new me thing. But maybe you've been going about it all wrong when it comes to weight loss.
It's not even getting an intense workout. It's just moving. This is going to work the outside of the leg.
Insert personal trainer and co-owner of Driven Fitness, Louis Echeverry.
So you have to do what your body's telling you that day versus feeling forced. As long as you have a guideline or something to follow, and tracking is very important. So whatever you did last week, you don't want to do the same thing the next week.
That said, how about you use some of that free outside or even a part of your house, no gym membership required, and grab just a few pieces of equipment costing less than $40 to jumpstart your 2017 wellness.
This is a medicine ball. You can get them in different weights. People see a med ball and they just think core, but you can actually do lower body workouts with the med ball. You can do upper body workouts with the med ball. It's a complete system. You can go time-based, 30 seconds, maybe working up to 45 seconds, 60 seconds, or you can do actual repetitions. Typical band, resistant band. Again, you can get these in different levels.
Okay.
You can do biceps with this piece, you can do triceps.
And grab a mat. We found some on Amazon as low as $7 to get your core workout in, and it doubles as a yoga mat. But the workouts mean nothing if the diet isn't right.
Speaking of, this is where all the magic happens.
Total carbohydrates, 41 grams. The way the body processes it, it's going to turn it into sugar.
No one said cut out the carbs altogether. That just sounds crazy. Just moderation, and reserve those high-carb meals for right before or right after your workout. And a great rule of thumb here, most of your grocery items should be fresh and have to be refrigerated. Stay on the outside of the grocery store, staying away from the processed foods in the middle. For the Now, and here's to your wellness, I'm Laura Harris.
Of course, remember, you always want to talk to your doctor before starting a new diet or workout plan. But like Laura Harris said, here's to your healthy success in 2017. Oh boy, it's got the workout part down.
How are we doing on the diet, though?
Oh,
good?
Well, you know what? We carved out over the weekend for the holidays, and of course this weekend we'll carve out. But after that, it's back to the grind.
I'm with
back
you.
to it. Remember, once you get over about 2 to 3 weeks, correct me if I'm wrong, Rob Powers, once you get through that 2 to 3 weeks doing it every day, it becomes habit, and you miss it when you aren't doing it. So come on, you can do it. We're here. We're your coaches, right, Rob Powers?
We will be there for you.
Get to work now. All right, here we go. Come on back to me. All right, here's your lake effect snow advisories for Lake Geauga and Ashtabula counties, and the heavier snow here in Geauga County has prompted a lake snow warning through Friday 10 p.m. No snow yet, although here we go. We're going to zoom on in. Our first hint that the snow showers are moving our way. There they are, starting to cross Lake Erie. But here's the interesting feature. This is the trough of low pressure, and there's a little swirl right over Fort Wayne. That's a little mid-level low pressure center. It's not at the surface, it's mid-levels here, and that's stirring up quite a bit of snow around it. So as that moves in during the evening, I think we all get some snow, maybe a ½ an inch to an inch of snow. Here you go. This is by 1:15 a.m., you get a ½ an inch, maybe a little bit more. Up in Chardon, you're getting upwards of 2 inches, and then the squalls kick in. So between 8 p.m. tonight and Friday at 10 p.m., where squalls persist, and we're confident about this, Geauga County, maybe southern Lake County into southern Ashtabula County around Pierpont, 4 to 8 inches, and if there's a couple of locations with a little bit more, like around Hamden in Geauga County, I wouldn't be surprised. Elsewhere, it's generally a 1 to 3 inches, and you can monitor all the latest weather conditions on air and online. Boy, those jumping jacks tired me out. 39 and 5. We're at 9 p.m. We're at 33 with snow. 11 p.m. snow and 32, and 1 a.m. 32 snow likely.
You're in trouble if those 4 jumping jacks tired you out, man. Our newsroom hard at work right now, getting ready for News 5 at 5.
Frank Wiley's joining us live with a preview. Frank, what's the latest?
Hey, what's going on, guys? We're following this today. Another run-in with the cops for Cuyahoga County Deputy David Miller, pictured right there, charged with OVI after 3 priors. So here's the question. How did he even get a job transporting prisoners? Also, residents, they said nope, but it doesn't even matter. The sales tax that will make you look twice at your receipt. Those stories and much more tonight on News 5 at 5.
Thanks, Frank. If you're afraid of heights, you might want to cover your eyes here. This is the world's tallest bridge. It officially opened today in China. The bridge is part of a highway. It links 2 provinces. It took more than 3 years to build. It cost about $150 million to build as well. Wow.
Tesla just tweeted this video to show the benefits of its recently upgraded autopilot feature in its cars. You can see this dash cam video. Someone crashes and just ahead of the Tesla on the highway in the Netherlands. But the car's forward collision warning system seems to anticipate the crash, beeping seconds beforehand, and the Tesla slows down to avoid it. The company's new autopilot system relies on radar instead of cameras to predict crashes. It's a bird, it's a plane, it's an Amazon blimp. The online retailer has drafted a plan for airship 45,000 feet above the earth, storing a fleet of drones and packages to deliver. The drones would initially fall to earth and their motors would fire up for the final stretch. Then after completing a delivery, a nearby shuttle would fly them back to the blimp. Amazon's already doing something similar in California with the San Francisco 49ers. Prime members can order food and other items for tailgating right to Levi's Stadium. This video of this grandpa going viral, probably because it's just too funny and too cute.
Well, this is Cincinnati native Don Briggs. He leaves his family crying with laughter after his dentures fell out of his mouth. He was playing the Speak Out game. So you put the mouth guard on? Yeah. Believe it, he was a good sport about it, so you can laugh along with them. He thought it was funny too.
Don's granddaughter actually posted the video to Facebook, and it's gaining more than 35 million views. We're back right after this.
You all right, Frank?
Sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Which he's had. As for his multiple OVI convictions, well, the sheriff's department says those aren't a problem.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. Wait.
Which he's had. As for his multiple OVI convictions, well, the sheriff's department...
The homecoming dance photo.
They're miracle stories of survival and perseverance. Kids, mostly between the ages of 14 and 18, who are burn survivors.
The Now's Russell Haythorne takes us on a ride down Steamboat Mountain and introduces us to an inspiring group of kids who have overcome so much, so young.
It's not often.
Think about how you're standing on your board.
You think of a 3,600-foot vertical drop
It's a little steeper, but you guys can totally do it.
as a safe space. But for these kids,
I think it's just like a second home.
that's exactly what Steamboat represents. This is a place where kids from all walks of life
Camp started in 1983.
come to celebrate their differences
Burn injury is one of those things that is such a traumatic injury.
and embrace their similarities.
Their skin might be healed, but there's so much trauma left unhealed.
For director Trudy Bolter, it's a dream job.
We brought kids from all over the United States. Lots of times if you've had a burn injury, you don't know anybody else who's had a burn injury.
But here, they do.
It's, I don't know,
I think it's just acceptance and like a place where you belong every year.
it's an amazing experience.
All have their own heartbreaking and harrowing stories.
House fires and explosions, and then just
Fateful things that can't be explained easily.
When I was 8, I was in a house fire.
Dontrell Gardner's mother suffered from schizophrenia.
And she had poured gasoline over me and my brothers and sisters.
All survived, except his youngest sister.
This week is really, it's a break from life.
The people living below Emily Carrillo's family were cooking drugs and blew up their unit.
I kind of panicked and just like ran down the stairs and burned my legs.
That was 8 years ago. Now campers like Dontrell and Emily are thriving.
What was the best part about today?
falling and getting back up.
This is a story about kids who survived,
It's a huge gift.
who persevered,
Whenever you're pushed to your edge is where sometimes you learn the most.
who found that safe space on top of a mountain and new friends for life.
They grew up and they're going to be just fine.
In Steamboat Springs,
When I come here, everybody understands I'm normal.
Russell Haythorne for The Now.
That's going to do it for the Now Cleveland.
We'll see you tomorrow at 4. News 5 starts right now.